feel
I
like
was
I did
moving
good.
the shoes while you did well, but I was moving my shoes while you were talking.
Whatever, dude. Welcome to Horror First Timers, the chilling podcast where every scream, every gasp, and every heart-pounding moment is fresh and unfiltered. I'm your host, Nate Martin. You can call me Tugboat. And today we have a familiar guest from literally 2 episodes ago. Her name is Maddie, Franz. She's my fiance.
What up, what up, what up, what up?
She's also in, if you couldn't notice or couldn't tell, very different chair from last time.
I gotta point out the chair like that.
If I didn't, who would? It's very unnoticeable, right?
Yeah, it's super low key.
It's super low key. Super low key. If you're new to the podcast, we watch a horror movie that the guest has never seen before and get their fresh reactions to it. See what they thought. See what scared them. See what they liked about it, what they didn't like it. See if they'd watch anything again. So this week we watched The Ritual, which is from 2017. It is a folk horror movie directed by David Bruckner. He more recently did the Hellraiser reboot, which is pretty cool. So if you like weird shit that also gets pretty grotesque and crazy at times, you should probably check this guy out. He's actually also going to do a Blob remake, which I think would be pretty cool. You've seen the Blob, right?
I don't think so.
You know of it?
Give me a nutshell of it.
It's literally just like an alien being that's ever evolving, like ever growing, just like blob that eats everything in its destruction.
I feel like I know about it, but I've never seen anything for
It
it.
was originally a 50s movie, and then in the 80s they remade it, and it was in the same vein of like The Thing, like very body horror. It's pretty kick-ass.
Nice.
It's pretty funny too. But yeah, David Bruckner, he directed this movie. I totally forgot about this movie. I watched it when it first came out, but since I'm a big Blu-ray collector, I forgot about it because it is a Netflix movie. And they don't put their stuff on Blu-ray, which is sad because they got some good stuff that would be good on Blu-ray. If you have not heard of this movie, basically what it is a group of friends. They're going on a hike in Sweden in remembrance of their buddy who died like 6 months earlier. And while one of them sprains their ankle, they decide to, instead of taking the long route back to their was it inn?
It wasn't his ankle, it was his knee.
Oh, it was the knee.
Yeah.
I always think it was the ankle because of the way
The way
it's
he fell,
shot.
yeah.
Because it looked like his
Yeah,
ankle
yeah.
twisted, but
No,
it
I
is his
agree.
knee. But instead of taking the long route, which is, the actual trail, they're like, why don't we get him back this evening and go through the woods?
Because we're guests here, we know everything about this place.
And yeah, so folk horror, going in the woods in Sweden, put 2 and 2 together, shit happens. Some crazy shit happens, and yeah, we're gonna get into it. So that's a basic premise. If that sounds cool to you, go watch it, because we are gonna spoil a lot about this movie, because we're not gonna do a full review, but I am gonna ask questions about it, and we're not gonna save that. Go watch it. Go watch it. What were your initial thoughts on The Ritual?
I thought it was going to be more witchy than it was.
There wasn't a single witch.
Yeah, what the heck? They're all just pagans walking around. Well, witches are pagans, but like...
Yeah. But yeah, how'd you feel?
They're more Satanists than anything.
You think so?
What's the bastard offspring of Loki? I feel like he doesn't fall.
That's a lot of exposition that you probably have no idea what we're talking about right now. But
Oops.
that's okay. I think it's more pagan and like folklore and mythology,
Yeah.
like rooted, but it doesn't really present itself that way until the very end.
No.
Yeah.
Which I was a little disappointed in, to be honest. I was hoping it was going to be trickled throughout the movie better. I wasn't expecting as many jump scares as there were. I was hoping there was going to be more creepy symbolism or
Yeah.
witches dancing in the woods or actually showing us the people before they show us the people.
Yeah. But you like the psych horrors, so you like psychological horrors.
Yeah.
You like when they do that ambiguous shit.
This
one was more of like, we're not going to show you anything, and we're going to scare you until we do show you it, and then it's going to really creep you out because it's fucking creepy.
See, once I saw it, I was fine. As soon as I knew that it was like this make-believe, like, creepy-looking creature, of course, but like, it wasn't a mystery of like, what could it be? What is after them? What is the scary thing chasing them?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's just a monster. Okay, whatever. I'm sure if I watched it again, that I wouldn't be as scared as I was the first time. Because it was that whole fear of the unknown. Excuse me.
Whoa. Without basically, like, talking about the end of it, though, but, like, how, like, after it ended, like, what'd you feel? Or what'd you think?
Little creeped out. I felt silly for being so scared of something that looks so silly. Like, it's dope. That was a dope monster.
It's a pretty dope monster.
It's a pretty creatively done monster. Yeah, please. No, check him up, the one with the house on fire and its shadow.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's way better.
Mm-hmm.
Way creepier.
I also really like the scene when full spoiler territory. Towards the end, when Dom is the one with the glasses and he's the one that sprained his knee. Mm-hmm. It's when he's about to be sacrificed and he sees his wife come out of the woods.
Oh.
And his wife is holding his head.
Yep.
Saying, like, it's going to be okay.
Yep.
And all that. And then it just cuts to see, to show what is actually holding him.
That was sick.
And it's the face. And it kind of reminded me of, God, why am I blanking on it? Those little guys in the first Star Wars movies.
Oh, the short ones in the hoods on the...
Yes,
the big ship moving boat thing.
I actually have my phone on me this time, so I'm going to look it up.
What the frick are they called? Ewoks are the fluffy teddy bear ones.
Ewoks
right?
are the fluffy ones, yes.
I think it's a W.
Is it Jawas? Jawa traders, yes.
Nice.
Jawa. So look up a Jawa, or, I mean, I'm sure a lot of you have seen Star Wars.
Looks like one of those attached to, like a...
It looks like just the face part, no hood or anything, but like
it kind of
where...
has like the hood thing going.
Yeah, but it's like with a skull. It's kind of sick.
Yeah.
Kind of like goes down like this.
Does it?
Yeah. It like opens up like a skull. And then the rest of the skull around it is like a human body with like arms. Like human arms and hands.
Oh, the human arms are so creepy.
And then, I don't know if you noticed this, but the antlers on it, like the beginning of the antlers are arms. Like they're this part of the arms. And then they turn into antlers.
Ew, are they?
Super sick. Yuck. Super sick.
You should put a picture up.
There's probably been many since I started talking about it. But yeah, so big monster. You did that kind of upset you that it was just a monster? That's kind of what I'm getting from you right now.
I wasn't upset by it. It just like everything wasn't quite as scary as it was before once I saw it.
I think what does it for me is that it's not just a monster just killing. You know, it's like he's making those people like worship him. Like he even pushes Luke down.
Yeah.
And like tries to force him to kneel.
Yep.
Which is sick. But he also gets in your fucking head. Like what Loki would do, kind of like trickery,
really
you know?
Yeah.
Like making Dom's wife come out, like make it look like Dom's wife is coming out of the trees to like save him or whatever.
Like the dream sequences.
Yeah, all the dream sequences were so sick. Like that first night when they're in that cabin that they should not have stayed in. When it's just thunderstorming outside and it's lightning and all of a sudden the lightning just sticks on a white light.
Yeah.
And then he opens the door and he's back in the...
I thought something was going to be on the other side.
Yeah, but wasn't that kind of sick though?
I don't like that.
He opens the door and he's back in his worst memory when he watched one of his best friends get murdered in front of him. And he didn't do anything about it. And he has all this guilt.
That's the most fucked up way to start a movie. I was shook. I was shook.
Yeah, because it's brutal too.
They don't hold nothing back there.
It is brutal.
They're just, and then...
All right. I feel like we're already going in so many ways on this first question. Overall, initial thoughts, yay or nay? How about that? Yay or nay?
Yay or nay to what?
Yay or nay on the movie?
Like as in would I watch it again, or do I think it was good? Or...
Whatever you want, baby.
That's not helpful.
Just say yay or nay. Yay or nay?
I guess it was fine. I probably wouldn't watch it again. Go watch. If you like horror, I'm sure it's great. I just don't like jump scares.
She hates it. It was funny.
But I'm doing this to educate myself in the world of horror,
yes,
and because I love you, and
we appreciate.
We're having a good time.
We appreciate.
So if you want to be on the podcast, hit him up.
Yeah. All right. Question numero 2.
Numero 2.
Yeah. How did you feel about the group dynamics among the main character, like the main 4? Because it was 5.
They got
but
hacked to
saw
death.
How that happened. So the main 4. How'd you feel about them? Did you like their dynamics? Did they seem real to you?
Yeah, I think they were fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all pretty normal dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
I
one
liked how
said
they
2 lines the entire movie, I swear.
The one that was that woke up
Praying
naked, praying
to the
to it.
thing. Yeah.
He had the least amount of screen time.
Well, the shit that he did say was so funny.
Like out of nowhere, they're just talking about what was it? A car. A ran down. Like they're walking, and they're not even in the woods yet, but they're walking towards the wood, and they see an abandoned car.
Oh, the van.
Yeah, and they're all saying something about it and how like creepy it is. And this dude's just like, I once got a hand job in one of those.
Unhinged.
And that's like the first thing he says in like 10 minutes.
The next time he talks is after the dreams, and even that's like a lot.
Yeah. And I think their group dynamic is funny just because their conversations in between the actual scenes are so real to me.
Yeah.
Where like one of the dudes was just like, man, I could really itch my gooch right now. The gooch, the taint, all that. That's so funny.
I like that they stayed together too. They all like after
Yeah.
someone angry ran off, the other ones all followed, mostly because they probably didn't want to be taken in this creepy forest, but also because
And they're actually really good friends. They might have resentments toward each other and maybe have feelings towards one of them, thinking that maybe their friend could still be alive if he would have done something, but
which I think is a very real thought to have.
it's a real thought to have, and it sucks, dude.
Like realistically, I think anybody in that kind of situation would have done the same thing that he did. It's that fight or flight, probably flight, to be honest.
I would have done fight, I think, if it
I
was
like
my
to
friends.
think-
I'm
I'd
too
like to
protective
think-
of my love of my friends. Fucking love you.
I think
Go ahead.
that I don't remember what it was anymore.
I think that.
No, I don't.
Good point. I was going to say, despite all of their bickering and maybe their resentments toward each other, they still show up for each other at the end. Like, even when it's just the two of them, Luke and Dom, when they're trapped in that house in the basement, like, Luke, even though Dom said some very hurtful shit to him about how he didn't do anything and he was a coward for not helping his friend, like, helping their friend that got killed, he was still like, I'm not going to let them kill you. Like, I'm gonna be there for you. I'm not gonna leave you. That's what he says. I'm not gonna leave you, which is like,
I think that
they love each other, man.
He lasted so long in the movie, I think, trying to save his friends because he couldn't save his other friend. Like he was making up for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's why he suddenly became the it guy, like the brave one.
Mm-hmm.
So he's been through the most amount of grief, and he felt like a coward for not helping, and so now this was his opportunity to redeem himself.
And that's exactly why the monster chose him. That's why he got that little like
The mark
on him, because I'm sure he's the one with the most grief, like the one that is most like willing to worship him or whatever, because he's has so much grief. But in reality, he just turns around and is like, I'm gonna become something out of this. I'm gonna be a man. I'm gonna be a man. All right. Did the setting of the Swedish wilderness contribute to the film's atmosphere for you?
Yeah, I think so.
I thought it was beautiful.
I feel like none of us really know much about Sweden. Like, that's not... Maybe that's ignorant of me to say, but I don't know much about Sweden at all.
I've never been there.
And so it being placed there, I think, was also more believable than if they'd been like, oh, we're in the Appalachian Mountains, or, oh, we're in the PNW, you know?
Mm-hmm. I mean, this is where, well, probably not the same area, but...
Or, oh, we're in Canada, you know?
Midsummer is in Sweden as well.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say
that's
that
like
earlier.
A summer movie. This is like a... Not a winter.
Fall.
This is a fall movie, for sure. But, I mean, there's some really cool scenes in the woods, especially when it's, like, in the middle of the day and all the sun's kind of creeping through. Like that scene where he runs up to the ridge, and it's just flat on top.
Oh, when he doesn't find a ridge. I was like, shh.
Yeah. But those shots are so cool, because it's like there's sun coming in through the trees.
Yeah.
And it's like making them multicolored almost, and it's very like bright, but very, I don't know, just very pretty. It's pretty horror movie.
Yeah. I think
until it's not.
That's what I didn't like about it, I think, was because it leaned more traditional horror, which I'm not super into.
It's got a familiar sense to it.
And then the end of it became like the type of horror that I like.
Yeah.
The whole paganism, let's worship something freaky, let's cast spells and be eaten by things and hung on trees. And
yeah. Oh, that shit was crazy.
That was wild. Watching him being carried by its head.
Very crazy. Let's talk about the creature. What did you think of the creature design and the way it was revealed throughout the film?
I thought it was going to be a giant moose, to be quite honest.
Kind of was.
Yeah.
I mean, like, its main body is like a big-ass moose or, like, giant goat or some shit.
Also, once I saw it, the straw person in the first house made a lot more sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was an idol that they were worshiping kind of thing.
Yeah. How'd you like how it was, like, slowly revealed? Because there are different elements to it. Like, there's antlers, there's a big moose, but then it's also have, like, human arms and stuff. So, like, you really didn't know until the end. How did you like that?
I didn't like the hands around the tree. That was so creepy.
Yeah, that's when they were up on the ridge.
The hands around the tree had me thinking it was something scarier. I think eventually it was like a little bit silly. I was like, oh, this isn't like nearly as creepy as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. That scene comes to mind, and also the one where it's just a shot. It's not even part of a scene. It's just during one of the interludes where they're just kind of walking, and there's one shot where they're walking through like the left.
When they're in the background.
And then you don't even notice it's there until it moves out of sight. And you're like,
I think I only noticed it because you pointed it out, and then it moved, and I was like, no.
That's because I've seen it before, and I was like, I know that's going to move.
Oh, no. As if I wasn't already stressed out enough. The way that some horror movies do stuff in the backgrounds is that, like, I can't handle that.
It's ucky.
Or in the corners of things. Ugh. I closed all the doors before we went to bed.
Oh, yeah.
I turned all the lights on all the way to the bedroom and then shut them off as I walked to bed.
Man, that's how I used to be with scary movies back in the day. When I was a kid, I could only watch scary movies, horror movies, in the daytime.
I would love to watch them in the daytime, but
if I watched them at night, and I think it's
like
kind of funny.
in the dark.
If I watched them at night, especially like a movie like Paranormal Activity, like the first one when it came out, I would like run to my bedroom and make sure nothing's behind me.
Yep.
And then like check my closet.
Running up the stairs, something's coming to get you.
Oh yeah. Ugh. Especially because at one point in time, our basement light switch wasn't working on the top, so you had to shut it down at the bottom.
Oh, and then run up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Skipping stairs.
Yeah.
Looking behind you at the landing.
Not looking. Just running. If you look, it might get you.
Good point. Sorry. I would have died apparently.
Were there any scenes or moments that you found particularly tense or frightening?
The whole beginning of it. Pretty much until they were revealed.
That's more than the beginning, I would say.
Shh, they didn't even know that.
That's like the first 60 minutes out
I
of the
spent
90
the
minute
entire
runtime.
thing behind my comfort hand. Peeping through just to make sure I could close it in case something really scary happened.
How much movie did you actually see?
Most of it, really. It was open. I could see it.
You're like 50% of it?
Yeah.
With one eye?
Yep.
What would you say was the scariest scene? For you, at least.
I don't know. Maybe the house.
The first one?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're...
Because you know that they're not supposed to go in there. You know.
It literally, to me, it looks like the Blair Witch house. And I'm like, nope.
No, I'm not touching this. You saw the symbols and the things hanging up inside and this thing up above, like upstairs. And you still didn't go, I probably shouldn't stay here. And so you had that, and then they spent a terrifying night there. On top of that, you're like, I told you.
And they all have hallucinations and dreams.
Fucking dreams that all come true.
One of them wakes up screaming. The other one wakes up and he pissed his
himself.
pants.
One's praying to the statue.
One's naked and he's praying to the statue. The other thing, though,
store.
when they showed up,
the liquor store.
When they showed up to it, it was storming. So they were like, we got to go inside because we're going to get wet. Ugh. But when they came out in the morning when it was light, and then you see all those other symbols on all the trees just surrounding the place, and they were like, oh yeah, we're definitely not supposed to be here.
That would not have been believable or doable, I think, if it wasn't in Sweden.
Yeah.
I feel like I find that 100% more believable in those woods. Like the whole folklore, the symbolism.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I feel like if it were to be in America, it would be more, I don't know, cult shit. Not like paganism or folk
No, like
stuff.
don't drink the Kool-Aid.
What? Yeah. I didn't get that for a second.
Too fast for you.
Our dog, I don't know. You probably can't see him. No, I don't think you can. But our
right
dog
there.
is just dead.
Cashed out.
He's just right there.
He is.
I hope you can hear him
Just wait till he starts
snore
snoring.
earlier.
Yeah.
That was so funny. Next question. Did the film's blend of psychological horror and supernatural elements work for you?
Yeah, it was fine. I just wish there was more supernatural elements.
Okay.
I wish it had happened more in the movie.
Yeah. Why
don't we kill 2 people instead of, a bunch of people?
Let me say, like I said before, kind of forgot about this movie because it's a Netflix movie. I know it exists, but I never thought of it to like maybe do it on the show until my friend Elliot, who is probably going to be on this podcast either next episode or the episode after, because I'm going to see him this week. He suggested, from Maddie's suggestion at the end of episode 1, I want something more folksy and fantasy. And he was like, hey, you should show her the ritual, if I can speak. The ritual. And, yeah. They showed that to you. So, folk and fantasy, do you think he hit the mark on that with the suggestion? Do you think this was something you would like? I don't know.
Yeah, it was fine. If it hadn't have had so many jump scares, I think it would have been fine.
She loves those jump scares. Don't look like that. Funny. How did you feel about the film's pacing and its build up to the climax?
I was so bored.
Really?
It was like scary, 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 dead. Scary, 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 dead. Oh.
How is that boring, though?
I was just tired of being scared. I just wanted to get... It felt like there wasn't enough material. It's like, when are we going to get back? When are we going to get rescued?
That's part of the story.
When is this guy gonna wake up and all of his friends are still alive? Never.
No. This is never how it works. It's never how it happens. Come on. You ever
I thought
watched
we
a
were
horror
shaking
movie
up the
before?
genre. Why are we watching?
No, I never said that.
It was fine.
It was. I like this movie.
I think it's fine.
Yeah.
I really do. Like, I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
I like it.
I think I'm just trying to convince myself that I like it.
She likes it. Were there any themes from the film that resonated with you particularly?
What do you mean?
I don't know. Just the theme of
Don't get your friends killed in the liquor store?
overcoming something traumatic or holding on to some sort of guilt that you didn't really have. You want to be a witch? I don't know.
Sounds like a game show. You want to be a witch?
You wanna be a witch? Huh? We're gonna go to the next question. This one's better, which kind of goes into the themes. What did you make of the main character's journey and transformation throughout the film?
I commented on it a little bit earlier. I thought his character development was good.
Yeah.
And that I think he was able to save all of his friends, or attempt to save all of his friends. Like, survive the longest because he was trying to make up for what had happened to his other friend and the guilt that he carried with him for it.
Yeah.
And I think...
And they just kept getting taken from him. There was nothing he could do.
if the bad things hadn't have happened to him, I don't think he would have been strong enough to fight the guy at the end.
Yeah. And he got out of the woods.
Yeah. I don't think he would have been alive had he not gone through what he went through.
Yeah.
Hey, can you take it easy over there?
There he is.
Hi, big guy. That itchy?
Did you think this... Whoa. Sorry. Dog break.
Hi, Bubs. Welcome back to life.
Are you alive? You're part of the intro, dog.
You're so sweet.
Everyone loves you. How did the film subvert or adhere to typical horror movie tropes, in your opinion?
I think the jump scares were there. What? That's pretty stereotypical horror. I think it was in
stereotypical.
the woods.
Yeah.
I think it had a creepy cabin in it.
Creepy cabin, woods, jump scares,
Everybody dies except for one.
death, monster,
Yeah, bad guy, opposition,
big monster.
murderer. You know.
Do you think it subverted any of those tropes? Like, did it do anything new
I don't know that I
from
would.
what you've seen?
I thought it was stretching a little bit to be like, oh, we're ageless because of what our Lord has given us.
Oh,
I thought that was kind of interesting, but then I didn't understand it going back to the skulls in the attic. Were they all supposed to still be alive?
oh yeah, they were,
Because
because they were followers of. Let me tell you.
why would you want to end up living like that, though?
The monster, the big monster that we've been talking about this whole time, has a name. It is a creature called the Jotun, which technically in Marvel Comics, Loki is a Jotun,
Oh.
which is an ice giant, but it can also be translated to just giant or dwarf, ogre, stuff like that. But this it's a Jotun, and they named it Moder, or Modder, M-O-D-E-R. Don't know how to say it. Be mean to me in the comments, it's okay. But it translates to mother. So, they have a name to it. They're worshipping mother, and in return, giving them immortality. So when he goes up there and hears all that weird fucking chanting and sees all those dead bodies, and then they start moving and all that, that was creepy, but he was like, you know what? Fuck this cult. I'm gonna set this whole place on fire, and they
Thank
can all
God.
eat my ass.
What a moment. What a moment. I was waiting for him to start shit on fire for so long in this movie.
And then when he comes down the stairs and he sees the lady just standing there.
Oh my God.
Hits her
That
in the
was
face.
probably the funniest part of the movie, I would say.
Yeah, he was like, no, I don't want to be a part of any of this shit. I don't care if he's the bastard son of Loki, I'm getting the hell out of here.
At the same time, I was dying and also like, yeah, at the same time.
That part had me dying when he just punches the old lady.
Good for him.
Funny.
Good for him. Get it.
But then, yeah, it kind of shows you that it wasn't a good person to be following anyways, because Mutter or Jotun killed all the other people anyways. Like, when he's coming back down after he punches the lady, that one blonde chick that told him all the exposition and backstory was literally getting murdered.
Oh, yeah.
By the monster.
Yep.
So it's like, what would happen? Maybe that was in retaliation because he started the place on fire, but I don't know. I don't think that's anybody I want to be worshiping. Were there any unanswered questions or plot points that you wish had been explored further?
It felt like the ending was just kind of thrown in there. Like, I could have used some more. Like, it was in the movie, of course, with the symbols and the dreams and whatever.
Yeah. What do you mean, like, the ending, though? Like, when he's just
It
walking
suddenly felt
away?
like, boom, we're going to call it Watch Out.
I don't know if you know this,
real?
but this is actually based off a book. And most of the movie is centered around the four friends. Most of the movie is only the first half of the book. The second half of the book does way more with the cult and stuff. But I kind of read a little like synopsis of it. I'd like to read the book. That'd be really cool. I'd like to see the differences for myself, but it seems like it kind of goes away from the friends, and I think the friends is what makes the movie good. Like, it's centered around them. I feel like if they halfway through the movie cut to a whole new cast of characters, it could have been even more convoluted. You know? Maybe they introduce them a little bit earlier into the plot. Maybe have one of them show up at the cabin and then, like, disappear.
Yep.
So you know that there's someone out there.
They mentioned them. They mentioned seeing people.
No, they mentioned seeing man-made things. Not people.
I thought they mentioned actually seeing the people, and I
No,
was like, why didn't they show us the
because
people?
they were like, it was those things on the ground that they lit up.
Oh yeah.
They were like,
The
see
path?
that? Those are man-made.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Like, we know, and Dom's always like, it's a path. Path always leads to civilization. And everyone's like, no.
I wanted to smack his character
You're
so
not
bad
wrong.
the entire movie. I was like, this guy is insufferable.
Yeah. It's because he hurt his knee.
Don't be a little
Whatever, dude.
bitch ass.
What did you think of the film's ending? Did it satisfy you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was fine with it.
Good with Luke sticking it?
I don't
Sticking it to the
know
monster?
how he's ever going to live a normal life after that.
He won't.
I don't see that going well for him. Integrating back into society
Yeah.
and having to explain what he saw and did and get his friends back. Having to go through all that and not be tried for murdering his friends in the woods.
Oh yeah, that's something that I've thought about with a lot of horror movies, you know? With like the final girl or the final guy or whatever term is for the lone man surviving. The final girl.
The final human.
Yeah, the final human. What happens to them after they're discovered after
What's
all
next?
their friends are dead and the killer is dead? Like,
It's not like there's AA for supernatural, you know what I mean?
but also, how do you explain that to the cops? And
You
how
don't.
do you get them on your side?
You don't. How do you make them believe you? You can't. So you might as well be dead.
Luke would literally have to like
Go get the authorities.
bring the authorities back to where he was, if he could even figure out where that is, because I would not know where to go.
It's
I'd
like
be
that or
lost.
lie. You know what I mean? How do
But,
you
like,
explain to somebody to get them to
all
the
of
woods
his friends
to help
had
you?
families. That's another thing too. They were
Tell
half
my
of them
wife.
were married. The first guy to die had kids.
Yeah, I know.
Well, the very first friend had a wife.
Yep.
Because they were the bank, not the bank robbers. They were just mugging this liquor store. The people that killed him, they asked for his wedding ring, and he was like, "No,
Come on, man.
I already gave you my wallet. I
Yeah.
gave you
What more can you
my
want?"
watch. Like, this is my wedding ring."
He's all like, I'm gonna fuck you up, and then machete to the face.
And then machete to the face.
Ay.
But yeah, so How does that work, dude? You can't go back to normal civilization.
What are you supposed to tell their families? Oh my God, can you imagine the amount of trauma he's going to go through having to re-explain it to people over and over and
He's
over
just
again?
like, sorry, the bastard son of a Norse god actually wanted me to be one of its followers.
To bow down.
And
get this, he's got a bunch of followers.
In the process of that
live forever in the woods.
Killed all of your husbands.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And stuck them into trees.
And tortured them.
By the way, they said they never take them down from the trees. They leave them up there.
I feel like that would also be helpful for him, though, because there would be definitely bodies that were older than them going into the woods, hanging up in the trees.
Oh, that's true. That's true. But they would have to be able to find it again.
Oh, no.
And
Without
also,
getting killed.
Oh, well, maybe they could find it by the smoke, because the fucking cabin was on fire at the end of the movie.
I wonder if you could see any of the other cabins from above the treetop. Probably not.
I don't know. Something to think about. Fun.
I did like how straightforward the movie was. Like, I think I thought it was going to be shock after shock after shock when that first friend was killed. I thought it was going to be like, boom, welcome to the movie.
The cold open.
Yeah. That was a good cold open.
It turns out that whole cold open was just a dream. He was just remembering it. Because then it just cut to him waking up, and it's 6 months later.
Yeah.
You know?
I was just let me try that again. I was just waiting for him to wake up like the entire movie. Like, none of this is real. You're in Sweden. You've been kidnapped and drugged or something. I don't know. And it's not actually real. All your friends are alive.
You were really hoping for a happy ending, weren't you?
Can't help it.
Only got a couple questions left. How would you compare The Ritual to other horror movies you've seen?
I'd probably rate it middle because it had good parts of it that I definitely liked and was into and whatever.
Yeah.
But it also had things that I wasn't into, but I was willing to try out for the things that I was into. So, like, I would definitely put it, like, in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What would you... In the middle of what? What do you got on each side?
I don't know. What have I seen?
You've seen Insidious. Is it in between Midsummer and Insidious?
Yeah, that's probably a pretty good rating scale.
Good, like, straight up folk horror movie. We got Insidious, Jump Scare City over here. You'd put Ritual right in the middle.
Yeah. I like the creepy, more imaginative things better than the jumpiness.
Yeah.
I never have really liked. I don't mind gore. I don't mind psychological.
There wasn't any like gnarly gore in this movie, but some scenes where you're like, "Whoa, that's crazy!" Like anytime they showed their friends stuck in the trees and their guts are just like on the ground. They don't show it like for too long, and it's not like up close.
Or elk or whatever it was brutal.
Oh yeah, where they just looked up
and the spread eagle.
There's just a fucking gutted moose or elk just in the trees.
That was grosser than I think a lot of
Dom.
it.
He was like, "You think a bear did that?"
Oh, who's the dark-haired friend with the kids?
That's the one from Downton Abbey, right?
Yeah.
That's Hutch. He's the first one.
Oh, well, Hutch. I should have known that.
Yeah, Hutch, yeah. Shout out Hutch. We love you.
His death, I think, in the tree was the most shocking. Like, is that Hutch?
You don't see him first. You see them walking up, just looking up, and just...
And they had to pull him out of the tree.
And they didn't fully bury him, but they did kind of lay him to rest, which is...
They're never going to find him
again. I could never do that. I don't want to bury someone.
Just
That's
leave him there on the ground?
I know. I mean, I would have to pull myself together and do it in the moment, but that just sounds so terrible. So terrible.
Terrible.
Last question before we go. Would you recommend The Ritual to others, and why or not? Why or why not? Let me ask that again. Would you recommend The Ritual to others? Why or why not?
Yeah, probably. It was good.
Yeah, probably. It was good.
You heard it here first, folks. I don't know. I think it was well shot. It was a little bit like...
Yeah, I think we've just been talking about the scares. Like, what about just from a filmmaking aspect? Like,
I liked the journey aspect of it. Like,
yeah.
It angered me at first because I was like, oh, you didn't try to do anything for your friend in the store and you just let him get murdered? You didn't call anybody? Why weren't you calling anybody? Why didn't you call not their version of 911?
Mm-hmm.
Where is the help? Why are you just letting him get murdered?
I think this movie did a really good job at making us feel everyone's emotions at different points in the movie. Like, in the beginning, we're like, what are you doing, bro? Help your friend. What are you doing? You literally have a bottle in your hand. Hit the dude. Hit the dude. But then later in the movie, we're like, what would you have done, man? Be nice to him. His friend was murdered in front of him. Like, and
that's his growth in the movie.
And that's got to do like a good combination of writing, acting, and just like how it's shot. Because if all those three things were like bad, we could have just hated that character.
I think he acted it really well, actually.
But like, it could have so easily been like, we're mad at you for the whole movie for not doing anything to save your friend.
Well, the way he held himself in the scary or traumatic events of being in those woods, I think was a reflection of what he saw and what happened to him while he watched his friend get murdered.
Yeah.
Like, you see something like that, and I think it changes the way you feel about things from now on. And I think he did a really good job at portraying that through the character.
Yeah. Well, hell yeah.
Anything
brother.
Else
you want to add about the movie? Like any?
I like that it was very cut and dry. I love a good tight 90.
Yeah, it is only 90, 96 minutes, something like that.
Yeah. 94. Something.
94.
Yeah, because we talked about
chick, dude.
4 minutes of credits.
Yeah, 4 minutes.
We're like tight 90.
Tight 90. Those 4 minutes. Definitely credits, bro.
I think I did get a little bit bored in the middle because I was just waiting for something other than being murdered and scared in the woods to happen. Besides that, I feel like it was very straightforward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about the music? Let me ask you about the music.
Too
Did you
busy
like
being scared to notice.
No, okay.
I think the sound effects of the monster were awesome, though.
Very creepy. The sound design was very good.
And like the trees and the big footsteps. Just the way the monster moved.
You mean the galloping?
That's a good point. Good point. The hooves. I think they built us up this monster before they showed us, and we didn't even see the monster and we were scared. You know?
Yeah, I think that's the best thing about this movie is it has one of the best monster reveals like ever.
It was pretty sick.
Like, from what you're thinking it's going to be.
Which was nothing.
Is not.
No.
And it's awesome. It's not something dumb. I know I'm going to throw some shade, but not some real shade. A lot of people are talking about that new movie Arcadian and how the creatures are so sick and they're super cool. I thought they're fucking dumb. This movie is not. This movie is sick. I've already showed pictures. I'm showing another one right now because it's fucking sick. Yeah, I think this movie genuinely has, in like the last at least 10 years, the best like creature reveal, design, anything. Sick.
I was more scared of it when I couldn't see it than when I could.
Yeah, but if you saw that shit in real life, you'd be scared.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I believed that I could have seen it in real life, though.
I mean, yes, it's fictional. But let's be honest, if you saw it in real life.
I believe that something like that could chase me through the woods of Sweden, though, when I was watching him come through the woods.
Yeah. Maybe it is out there in Sweden. You want to go Sweden?
Is it the Loch Ness Monster of Sweden?
The Nessie of Sweden. It's right next to the Mothman and the Chupacabra. Hanging out with Bigfoot in Sweden. That's where all the cryptids have gone. They're just like, screw America. They keep looking for us.
They probably just have like a club they hang out in together.
All right. Well, I already asked the last question, so we're good to go, right? Unless we have anything else to add.
Nah, sick nasty, bro.
Sick nasty, bro. This has been another episode of Horror First Timers, episode 3, The Ritual. 3. We had the lovely Maddie Franz on again. Thank you for coming on, watching this movie.
You're welcome.
She'll probably be on a bunch, you know. I really like the idea of just every other episode.
They're going to be so sick of me. It's going to be awesome.
I am already sick of you. But I love you.
But I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, she's not going anywhere.
Okay, bye.
No.
Okay, hi.
No. Plug your stuff.
Oh, shit.
Where can we find you, Maddie Franz?
You can find me on most of the socials that are importante. I'm at the Maddie Franz on all of them. For all the old people that are on Facebook, or the medium people that are on Instagram, or the youths of the TikTokers.
Mm-hmm.
At the Maddie Franz. If you want my teaching page, it is at the Dinner Table Family. You can email me there as well. You can go to my websites.
You can find me here on the Horror First Timers YouTube page and Instagram page. And then if you want to see more movie reviews or more of my collection or whatever, this is all integrated with Tugboat Salon of stuff. Go find me on Letterboxd and or Instagram. And then obviously the podcast, you can listen anywhere you got podcasts, and it's just Horror First Timers. So do it.
Like, subscribe,
comment, do all that shit that
all that jazz.
You know, you don't want me to tell you to do, but I'm going to tell you to do it anyways.
Just do it. Just be good, do good.
I wish our dog was more alive so we could make really fun clips for the intro, but that's okay.
He's still sleeping.
See him next time. He's
you should
sleeping.
pan the camera to the baby when we're done. Just be like, nah.
I'll pan to the camera. All right. Love you. Bye.
Bye.
There's dog.